Attention Cloud9 shoppers, this is the Superstory Podcast, a Superstore fan podcast with Matthew Haas and Michael E. Cullen II.
Welcome to the Superstory Podcast.
Okay, everybody. Okay, everybody, welcome to the Superstory Podcast. My name is Michael E. Cullen II, and with me, as always, is
Matthew Haas. That was too fast. Matthew Haas.
Matthew. Haas. Okay. So, today, we are covering an episode of Superstore. Surprise, surprise, surprise. So, anyways, do you want to just jump right into orientation? Yeah.
Attention Cloud9 associates, it is now time for orientation.
Today's episode is episode Season 2, Episode 6.
Oh, 6. Sorry.
Yes. It's called Halloween Theft. It was originally aired on the 27th of October, 2016. Okay. Anyways,
get really annoying fast.
yeah, we should probably stop before our fans tune out, all 4 of them. Anyways, the episode was directed by Alan Statman and written by Carrie Dornetto and 3 more people.
And 3 more people. Cool.
Yeah, I should probably look and see who those 3 people
just
are.
these 3 other people. Whatever.
Yeah. It was also
They don't have names, so,
also written by
me.
no, not by you.
Oh, okay.
Bridget Kyle, Vicky Liu, and Vanessa Ramos. I think they're all female. I could be wrong, but sounds like it.
Yeah, maybe.
Yes, that's kind of cool.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm getting in the habit of this drone stuff now. All right.
So what happens in the episode, Matthew?
Dina got them all lined up for a meeting, and she's telling them to watch out for people stealing items like toilet paper, shaving cream. It's the normal stuff that kids usually do, pranks on Halloween, stuff like that. And she's the only person that's not wearing a Halloween costume, and they start kind of razzing her about that. And she's like, "Oh well, Sandra doesn't have a costume," and she's like, "No, I'm you." She starts acting like her, and Dina, of course, she hates Sandra with a passion. So then she's just takes a random costume off the rack and just puts it on. It's like this police officer costume is way too small for her, so her breasts are just
hanging out,
barely even covered. And then that kind of sets you up for one of the plots of the episode of Garrett kind of having this attraction to her that he can't really stop himself from having, stuff like that. So that's one of the plots. There's there's a good at least 3 or 4, I think, storylines going on in this episode. I think there's the Garrett and Dina one where he keeps trying to look away from her breast.
He can't handle the fact that he's attracted to someone that he also hates.
Right,
basically.
Yeah, he just they don't get along at all in the show, and then this is the first episode where that kind of comes into play, because it kind of goes. That's a kind of a reoccurring thing in the show once you watch more. And the one of the other plots is Jonah is sent to work with Cheyenne at the jewelry counter, and that's kind of interesting because Jonah always wants to bond with people or whatever. And Cheyenne just kind of, because Jonah just always says stupid shit like jewelry. That's kind of a what was it, like a double-edged sword for feminism?
Yeah, or something
she's
like, yeah.
you know, like she always does. Like I love Cheyenne. She's so nice.
Yeah.
Even when she doesn't really want to listen to someone, she's just kind of like, like.
She's funny. Yeah, and then we have the plot of Dina discovers in the back room that somebody stole irregular fruit, which is not bad fruit or spoiled. It's fruit that looks weird.
This is a real thing too, right? Stores actually do this?
I believe so. I've never worked in produce, so I don't know.
I've read about this, that they'll actually throw out food that there's nothing wrong with it. It just looks weird.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's like, whatever, that's weird. But, so yeah, there's that part, and she's interrogating everyone.
It's, I mean, I know they do throw away a lot of food, which, I mean, a lot of times they will donate that stuff to, like, Feed America or something like that. Or, you know, one of these organizations that feeds America.
Oh, get it?
America Ferrera. It just goes all right to her.
Oh, yeah, it just goes under her. Just a truckload. You know, you're rich enough now to buy your own, you know, but here's a bunch of, you know.
Here's a bunch of,
extra.
Bunch of pears that look weird.
Wow.
Yeah. No, so, we've got that going on. They're trying to figure out who stole the fruit.
Right.
So Dina decides to start interrogating everybody.
Right, and she's threatening to keep them after hours too.
Yeah.
Like after they're done with their shift. And everyone's got plans, well, except for Mateo claims he doesn't have plans, because that's one of the other plots, the Mateo and Jeff plot.
Yeah, Mateo has a date with Jeff,
and he's trying to play it off like he's got nothing going on. Like, oh, I'm just gonna read a book, whatever. You know,
I've got a date with a good book.
Yeah.
Dina puts a guard at the door so people can't leave.
Yeah, and the guard's Myrtle.
Yes,
the oldest employee of Cloud9 history. Mm-hmm. What did they say? She makes like $27 an hour or
something like that.
Later on in the show, not this episode.
Yeah,
later on in the series.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, because she's been working there for so long that she just kept getting raises and stuff like that. Oh, Myrtle
must be nice.
Yeah, it must be.
Yeah, so we've got that, and then Amy, Mateo, and Glenn all decide that they want to escape. Glenn, who's the frickin' store manager, but isn't totally intimidated by Dina. He wants to escape and go to another store to pick up some irregular fruit so they can replace the fruit so they can all leave. My thing is they were able to escape. Why didn't they just leave?
Just leave. Plus, too, he's the manager.
Yeah.
She's the assistant manager. But Glenn is so nice and intimidated by that.
Yeah. So they go to another Cloud9.
That's right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He meets this manager who, his assistant manager, you know, treats him with respect and, you know, stuff like that.
It's just, I don't know.
Yeah. So that part was cool. I forgot about that, actually. I mean, we just watched it, but I forgot about that. I forgot why they were going there at first. I don't remember why. I zoned out. What's up?
Yeah, it was to it was to you know, get the fruit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then what happens next? So yeah, they back at the store. We have rumors being flown around by both what's her name, Cheyenne and Jonah are talking about rumors in the store and stuff like that, and back and forth. And then so at one point later on, I don't know if this is before or after everything, but they say what Jonah asks her what do they say about me? And she's like, well, you know, they think you wear a wig. Think you have a crush on Amy, and they think you're a Sea Org, whatever that is.
That's a Scientology reference.
Uh-huh.
Sea Org is like one of the higher up
the Sea Organization.
Yes. If you want to look up the more fucked up aspects of Scientology, look up the Sea Org, and you'll go down a rabbit hole real quick
Yes.
about that.
The alleged fucked up aspect of Scientology.
Oh, it's right. We're not allowed to say anything about the gods because of the litigation. Sorry about that. Yes, alleged that everyone knows is true, but it's alleged.
Yes. Anyways, so they he's like freaking out because he's like, who thinks I have a crush on Amy and everything. So this is kind of like your first little, not first, but one of your many early indications that he has a huge crush on Amy. I mean, we got that in the first freaking episode of the show.
Yeah.
So, we also like, okay, they get some weird fruit at the store. They come back. Glenn's a hot dog, by the way. Okay. Anyways, he has to tell everybody too.
Yeah, he's dressed as a hot dog. He's like, I'm a hot dog, and Jeff's like, yep.
And then Amy's talking to Emma, her daughter, on the phone at one point in the car, and then Glenn's like, "This is Glenn. I'm a hot dog." And then she's like, "Okay." Yeah. I don't know. So anyways, the whole time, like, Garrett is like, you know, freaking out because he's basically obsessed with Dina's boobs.
Yeah, at this point, he can't.
Yeah, he can't stop
like,
looking at him.
He has to get away from her.
Yeah.
Of course, she's interrogating him and getting like all up in his face and stuff, and he's like, you know, at eye level, like,
and then being like, "What kind of fruit do you like? You like big juicy melons and stuff like that?" And he's like, "You know what you're doing,
right?"
And so then Garrett ends up confessing to the crime that he didn't commit.
Yeah, just to get out of the room,
as far as we know, because we never find out who did, if anybody.
Yeah.
And then they come back with the fruit from the other store, and then Glenn grows some balls and or a spine or both, and decides to tell off Dina and basically say everybody's going home and, you know, stuff like that. And then he was going to go home and make cut himself out of his hot dog and make love to his wife if she is up for it.
Yeah, only if she's up for it. Yeah, you gotta mention Glenn. I love Glenn. He's so woke for being like almost like a fundamentalist Christian. It's so weird.
It's
like
weird. He's like both.
He is.
So yeah, I mean that's pretty much. I mean, well, and then the end of the episode, we see Mateo get into a car with Jeff, and Cheyenne sees it too. So dun dun dun.
She saw it because Mateo says, "Oh, we should probably get out before someone sees us." Too late.
Yeah.
Too late.
So and by the way, they all go to see Nosferatu at the end with Jonah.
That's right.
And Jonah is Brexit.
Yeah, his costume, yeah.
He's Brexit, by the way. It's a great costume.
It's just a British flag T-shirt.
With an exit sign around his neck.
Yes.
Flavor Flav style around his neck. Anyways,
the more you'll watch the show, you'll see it.
Yeah.
He always has to have like a political...
something,
I'm not sure if season 3 if he did. I don't remember if he did or not in season 3. I'm trying to remember if he did anything political for that.
I can't remember what his costume was season 3.
Yeah,
I guess we'll have to go back and we'll find out when we get to that episode. Anyways, let's take a quick break here, Matt,
Sure.
and then we'll come back with our employee of the week.
Sure.
Hi, everybody. This is Michael E. Cullen II from the podcast you're listening to right now. With me, as always, is
Matthew Haas.
Yeah, and we're here to tell you about our really cool other podcast called All Too Real 2. And what do we do on that show, Matt?
We watch the greatest direct-to-video sequels of all time, and then we report on them.
And we also talk about other pop culture cool things like video games and conspiracy theories and other awesome things. So if any of that sounds fun to you and you enjoy hearing my voice and Matt's voice,
As you should.
I mean, of course. Tune in anywhere you get podcasts to All Too Real 2. Bye-bye.
Magus Elgar's apprentice, Udo Malaki, comes from a family of dangerous, exciting casters.
Hi, I'm Udo Malaki, and I do magic.
Even if his ambitions only go as far as staying alive.
You know, I was really hoping you were going to say something a bit more positive.
Not exactly an ideal Magus. You can hear Udo Malaki and his exciting adventures in the upcoming radio comedy, Magus Elgar.
Visit MagusElgar.com to download your copy today.
And we are back.
Attention Cloud9 Associates, our employee of the week is...
Okay, anyways, employee of the week. Matthew, who was your favorite character this week and why?
Okay, I'm gonna go. It's a little bit low key. Not Loki as in Avengers.
Oh, okay.
Not that Loki.
Or the one from Dogma.
No, but low hyphen key with the like a key you put in type of thing.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna go with Cheyenne.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. It's because she's just cute as a button, really, for every episode.
Yes.
And she's so nice, and like there's like an innocence about her. Like she doesn't she's very literal minded. Like when Jonah's like saying like, "Oh, I just heard so and so's drinking again," and she's like, "Ah," and then she's like, "Alcohol?" Like even after gasping, she like has to clarify, and Jonah's like, "Yeah, I think so." And there's just several instances of that of her throughout the whole series, really.
Yeah.
But in this episode too, of just like how like kind she is. Like I've known, like if I like actually worked with someone like Cheyenne, like this, that would be a person that I would want to spend more time with at the store because she's so positive. Kind of like Kelly, which you'll meet later on.
Yeah.
I don't think she's there yet, but
no, she's not.
Kelly's not.
I don't think she comes in until season 3.
That's right. Kelly's a little bit different, but they're both kind of like this very positive, upbeat people or happy, and like I'd rather spend time with her at work than like Jonah, for example.
Yeah.
Jonah's just a know-it-all, and like I mean he's cool and everything, but he's always got to like I don't know, just something about him that's just kind of off-putting.
Understandable. I think my choice this week would actually be I'm going to go with Glenn. Just because of the whole hot dog run. Great. I liked that. That's basically it. I just liked him dressed up as a hot dog. It was funny. Then him getting all confused at the other store and thinking how bad the other store was and other stuff like that. I thought that was pretty cool. Do you want to jump into our today's special now?
Yeah, sure. That's fine.
Okay. All right, Matt.
Attention Cloud9 shoppers. Today's special is...
What was your favorite scene in the episode and why?
My favorite... Oh, man, because there's so many. But I guess if I had to choose, it kind of goes with your favorite character, though. So I don't know.
Oh, that's fine. Go ahead. No, it's fine.
It's when Dina is interrogating Glenn.
Yeah,
and he's trying to sit down in the chair, but he can't because he's like, it's the bun. Because after like his fourth attempt at trying to sit on the chair, it keeps getting pushed back. And he's like, it's the bun or something.
Yeah.
And Dina's just disgusted by him almost. Like, does she even have to talk to him?
He finally sits down and she asks him, "Did you steal the fruit?" And he's like, "No." And okay, you can go.
Yeah, it's like so all this time of trying to sit down, finally. Yeah, I love that.
My thing is, I like the run throughout the episode. They have these little cutaways to people and stuff, and they have Myrtle sees a guy dressed up like the Grim Reaper, and she's trying to go to him. And basically trying to get him to take her to the afterlife.
Right.
She's like, chasing him through the store and stuff. It's just
my
funny.
time to die. Yeah. It's so weird.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. Let's move on to the next section here, Matt.
Attention Cloud9 Associates. It's time to grab your go-backs.
What is something you would, for go-backs, what would you, something you change in the episode? Anything?
No, not really.
Yeah. I'm getting to the point where this section's almost pointless anymore because I totally never have anything that I want to change, really. I mean, there are certain things here and there per episode, but overall.
Yeah, like the first season, was pretty much them kind of getting their footing and then like part of the second season as well. But like after that, it's pretty much just like they've got it now. They've
really hit their stride.
Yeah, they're really, and it's really, I haven't really had any issue with that.
No,
since like probably the last couple episodes, really.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to take another quick break here, Matt? I know.
Yeah,
pretty fast already, but yeah,
I'm hoping the break is going to be about breakfast pastries. I don't know, but I hope that it's about that.
What is your favorite breakfast pastry?
I would say Pop-Tarts.
Yes,
are my number one favorite breakfast pastry.
That is spelled Poptarts.
Yes, it is.
Yes, and they're made by Kellogg's.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite Pop-Tart?
Oh man, I love s'mores. I love the chocolate fudge. I think is what it's called.
Oh yeah, that's
strawberry.
Good. Oh yeah,
I love strawberry.
The frosted kind. Of
oh yeah,
course.
definitely frosted.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, the unfrosted is okay every once in a while.
Yeah.
You know, but I love that frosting, especially a strawberry.
Mm-hmm.
Blueberry, if there's nothing else available, sure. But
Blueberry
strawberry
in a pinch,
is really.
yeah.
I love that flavor. Never tried any of like the newer ones, like the weird wild.
Yeah,
I never got into that.
I tried like I think it was like what was it, wild berry or something. It was actually pretty good.
Was
it was something.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, let's go to our break here, and then we'll be right back.
Hey folks, this is Michael E. Cullen II from the podcast that you're listening to right now, along with
Matthew Haas.
We just wanted to tell you about our great podcast called Super. It's called All Too Real. And on that show, what do we do, Matt?
We watch biopics, and then we talk about whether or not the movie matched up with the real story or not.
So it
was a lot more exciting than that, though.
Yeah, so we analyze the real story and the real story.
Get it?
Get it?
Real.
You know? Yeah, they're spelled differently, folks. You can guess which one I said which way. Anyways, so sometimes we have a guest, sometimes we don't. But we talk about great movies like Shattered Glass and The Social Network and Futile and Stupid Gesture, among others. Those are some of the ones that we've covered so far, and we're going to cover a lot more. So please subscribe on Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you find your great, fun podcasts. And be sure to share it with your friends.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
And make sure you're not afraid to get all too real. Bye-bye.
And we are back. Let's move right here into our closing, because it's closing time.
Closing time. I'm only doing that one line so we don't get sued.
Closing time. I love Semisonic.
Yeah, me too.
Attention Cloud9 shoppers. The store will be closing soon.
Anyways, so Matt, last time we spoke, you said you were going to look up, I don't know if you had a chance, some stuff about Echo the Dolphin.
Oh, yeah. About that.
Did you not?
Oh, I did. I don't know if I can. It was really weird stuff, so it's kind of hard to piece it all together. Basically, though, is that the guy who made Echo the Dolphin, the video game, he was a big fan of this dude who was a scientist. Don't remember his name. Doesn't really matter. He was a big fan of this scientist from the 50s who, like, went rogue and just, like, became, like, a proto-hippie with, like, the whole psychedelic stuff and whatever. And him and, like, some partners wanted to do research on dolphins to see if they can communicate with dolphins, because the idea was if they could learn how to talk with dolphins, then eventually they would be able to learn how to talk with aliens if the occasion ever arisen. I don't know. Occasion ever came to, whatever. You know what I mean? And it didn't really work out. Apparently, some people swear that one of the dolphins was able to say the name of one of the women, and it's alleged that this woman had sex with one of the dolphins. Maybe that was a dolphin she had sex with, and he was able to say her name.
Was this in ecstasy, or was it just in general?
What's that?
Did the dolphin scream out her name in ecstasy?
No, this was
I'm just joking.
This was
Sorry.
this was like not related to sex. This was
Okay.
just like other times of the day.
Okay,
Like, not during sex, just like normal parts of the day, like eating a sandwich or whatever. I don't know.
Just curious because
Yeah.
you said those two back to back, and it kind of got me thinking. I was just like, okay, that
It could have been. I don't know.
That'd be really creepy.
Because they didn't have any recordings of this, thank God. But
There's not a market for dolphin porn.
there probably is.
No, I'm sure,
But
yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
But so anyway, he flooded his house so that the dolphins could get closer to them. So they were pretty much living with the dolphins, I guess, for a while. I don't know how long this project went on, like a year or something. And eventually they scrapped it because they weren't, there's too much dolphin sex going on, and they weren't really getting anywhere with like knowledge. So they, quit that. And then he got into ketamine. I don't know if he was already in ketamine. That's what spurred him on to do this project. I don't remember the timeline here, but he had really bad migraines. And one of his friends told him, "Hey, there's a drug called ketamine that works. You don't need a prescription, and it's legal to buy, so you won't get in trouble for having any on you. Just buy some." Ketamine, I said in the last episode, ketamine used to be a anesthesia that surgeons would use for people, but too many people complained when they woke up of having like really weird nightmares and dreams and just sort of like a feeling of like just dissociating from their body. They didn't like it. So they came up with better anesthesia for people, who don't want to have weird feelings of being, dissociated from their bodies. But then of course, this was during the drug time era of the 1960s, and people loved all kinds of weird shit of feeling. I don't understand it, to be honest. I mean, I'm not really a drug person. I don't really see what's the appeal of feeling removed from your body. It just seems like terrifying to me, but apparently some people like it. So I don't know. So he discovered that after trying that for his migraines, and he also had an isolation tank that he bought. And isolation tanks are those things where you go in this thing that kind of helps you meditate and stuff like that. So he decided to go, well, I'm gonna take a bunch of ketamine, and I'm gonna put myself in the isolation tank, and then I'm going to just go fucking crazy and have all kinds of visions and hallucinate and write down all of my thoughts. He swore that he was being this is where the Echo the Dolphin thing comes in. So he swore that he was being contacted by I don't know if it was just a particular alien or if it was like a whole like alien civilization, and they were giving him messages, and they were in just weird stuff, and somehow the dolphin stuff was kind of worked in with their like the dolphins were going to be like, you need to learn how to talk to the dolphins or something like that. I don't remember what. And then so the guy who made Echo the Dolphin, I guess he had read about this stuff or whatever, so then he got the idea to make because the whole point of Echo the Dolphin is that there is an extraterrestrial force that somehow is involved with Echo, and he's lost his family, and he has to find his family, but he can only find his family, I think, through like he gets sucked into like a time loop at some point, a time portal at some point. I mean, there's a lot of weird shit happens in this game. If you get a chance, try to actually like, I don't know if you can buy one of those Sega things, like the new Sega, where they have like 1,000 games or whatever type of thing.
I know. I'm not sure. I'm trying to remember because I know Sega is actually releasing their like mini thing, kind of like Nintendo did with the NES and the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
They're releasing that soon, and it's been in development for a while. And I'm not sure if Echo the Dolphin is one of the titles on it, but if it is, I definitely would pick it up.
Well,
yeah.
If you can, just look up videos if you're interested. I'm going to look up the thing right now because there's I don't want to get too many things wrong in here, but I know because I used to play this game a lot when I was a kid, and I do remember how weird it was because like at one point Echo gets sucked up in like one of those like water tornadoes. I forgot what the word is for that, but it's not actually a tornado. It's like a time vortex or something, and he literally gets like shot into the past or in the future, or he gets shot like all the way across the world or like even in space at one point. It's a really bizarre game if you really think about it for like Sega Genesis for that era of time when you had games like NBA Jam, for example, which was like a huge, success. And then now they have a game about a dolphin that is lost his family and he needs to talk to aliens to get him back. I mean, it seems like a weird thing. But maybe I'll talk more about that. We'll just keep for every episode. I'll just talk a little bit more about Echo, and then we'll find the more crazy aspects of the story, because I'm just kind of scratching the surface here.
Yes.
Thinking that there's
so what I'm wondering though is, like, if people go into isolation tanks, and then eventually it leads to a video game, what's going to happen with Joe Rogan? Because he goes into isolation tanks.
I'm scared if he does a video game.
Yeah, me too.
Or if he inspires a video game.
Yeah, me too.
It'll just be a bunch of like alt-right people like who claim that they don't have any political side, but they're clearly on one side, and then talk about how evil social justice warriors are and how triggered they are when they themselves are triggered by the people who they say are triggered, and the whole game's just about that.
I was just thinking it would be.
And then they have a bunch of Axe body spray too. That then, like, the game will actually have a thing where it'll actually shoot out spray, and it's Axe body spray. And
right into your eyes.
You gotta smell it. Yeah, it burns your eyes too. And also too, though, sometimes though weed will go out too, because I know Joe likes weed.
He's really into that.
So sometimes you'll get lucky. Well, if you like weed, you'll get lucky. If you don't like weed, then you're gonna have a bad time with it. But and then
by the way, if you're listening to this, Joe Rogan, if you'd like to be on our show, I'd be more than happy to have you on. Via Skype or phone or something, because I don't think you want to come to Toledo.
I don't think you want to just drive or fly all the way out here.
I mean, if you do, cool. I mean, you can sleep on my couch or something.
I mean, I think you're a busy guy, so
we can watch old episodes of News Radio together.
Would
Of your career.
Would he like that, or not? Would he be too offended by that?
I don't know.
Not offended, but you know what I mean? Like, some people don't like it when you talk about the past. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some people like, oh yeah, 20 years ago, type of thing.
No, but that'll actually be a requirement. If you do come over here,
right. You're going to have to watch News Radio.
You're going to record audio commentaries for every episode that you're in of News Radio for me.
Right. See, I like some
and somehow I need you to bring Dave Foley and Andy Dick with you.
How are you going to do that? I don't know.
Even though I know you and Andy probably don't get along, but
does anyone get along with Andy Dick?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, I don't know, because he's kind of a wild card. A quick thing about Joe Rogan, though.
Yes,
I like some of his stuff. I just don't like the fact that he claims that he doesn't take a side, but he clearly does. So it's like if you want to be on the alt-right or the quote-unquote alt-light, fine, whatever. Just admit it and then move on. But when you say,
I mean, my thing is I think
sides, but all of my people are on the right, it just seems
I think from time to time he does have other sides, but the issue with it is that he does tend to give these people a platform that they don't deserve.
Right, like that Milo guy or whatever. Well, he did grill Milo, I think.
Yeah, and he does sometimes do good interviews. I'll give him that. I'm not a huge fan of his podcast, though.
Right.
If I were to listen to an interview podcast, I'd rather listen to WTF with Mark Maron because he's the best interviewer in the world.
See, he's the right kind of political incorrectness. See, I know this got nothing to do with Superstore at this point, but like, there's two types of political incorrectness. There's a type that really just wants to be edgy. And that's the thing. They want to be edgy. They try to be edgy. So it's all about, like, I'm going to trigger the libs, type of thing. And so it's all performative, and it's not really sincere. I'm not saying he's insincere, but it's that type of political incorrectness is not really sincere. And it's just about offending people for the sake of offending them. Typically, people that already deal with lots of stuff already, so you're just adding to what they already go through. So you're not really like being like a rebel or whatever. You're just being like a bad person at that point. Then you've got the Mark Maron type of political incorrectness, where it's not about needlessly offending people that are already marginalized and hurt by society. It's just more of like he's just an edgy person naturally. He's not trying to be edgy. That's just how he is. And I guess, of course, there are people who are just naturally asshole edgy as well. I'm not sure if Joe is one of them, but there's that as well. So maybe it's not insincere. It could be sincere. It could be sincerely bad. I
do know that I really want to see Joe the podcaster, the video game.
Yeah,
it's just Joe Rogan somehow with a microphone swimming around in the water.
It's Joe the dolphin.
It's just Echo the dolphin, except for you replace Echo with Joe Rogan in a microphone.
Right.
I would play that.
And plus, do just one more thing too about Joe.
Yeah,
I don't want to like slander him or whatever, because like I would watch some of his clips on YouTube, and and sometimes it would just play like on a random playlist.
Yeah.
So some of these clips could have been from like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know what exactly, but
I think
a lot of them were really transphobic. The ones I was seeing.
Oh yeah, and
really bad
I
transphobic.
think I think that the thing with him is I don't like him necessarily, his show at least, but I haven't watched or listened to enough of it to give a fair assessment of all of his interviews. But I do not like the fact that he does give people like Alex Jones a platform of any kind.
Right.
Because regardless of your political views, Alex Jones is toxic.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
He's a terrible person.
Anyways, and I'm going to go to my grave saying that.
Thank you for tuning into Superstore.
Yeah.
And we're just talking about...
It's like one of those transitions in the news where it's like, and then 3 people died.
Yeah.
And up next in sports, we're going to win the...
Exactly. It's like, how do they train them to...
I know.
You know what, those... It's actually... And like in Toledo, there's actually one woman who does get like emotional, especially when they talk about like children dying. And like I can almost tell that she's like fighting back tears. I actually appreciate that more than like smiling. It's like, are you a sociopath? Like what? You know what I mean? Like,
more than the... And then 5 children died in the bus accident.
Yeah.
Up next... No, then 5 people died in the bus accident. That's usually solemn when they say that.
Yeah.
And then they're like, and up next, kittens. Wait, what?
It's like they're trying to like create
it's
disturbance.
It's like, and up next, John is here from the Humane Society to tell you how you can adopt a new kitten. Wait, what? Anyways, so with that, transition here. I guess have a heavenly day there, Cloud9 shoppers.
Yeah,
and
the
store is now closed. Bye-bye.
This is the Super Story Podcast, a Superstore fan podcast.
A Cullen Park production. Produced and edited by Michael E. Cullen II. Music by Matthew Hawes. Subscribe and share the show. Visit us at cullenpark.com.